I do think that these individual district court judges that are being selectively shopped by people who oppose the president, trying to issue nationwide injunctions and stop the president from governing, I think that's a real problem. I mean, it's a constitutional crisis, in my opinion, for these individual district court judges to try to tie up Donald Trump. I mean, it's obvious what they're trying to do, which is to run out the clock until he's no longer in office. It's sort of what the Democrats did the first time around. They don't want him to be able to govern. Now, the Supreme Court, as you pointed out in the polling, people have a lot of respect for it, and so does President Trump. So I really do think that if he's allowed to govern, if he's allowed to do the things that he ran on, if he's allowed to continue to, deport illegal aliens, if he's allowed to continue to do the things he told the American people he was going to do, he'll be fine. But the truth is he's running into a wall of resistance in some of these individual federal district court judges. And I think the Congress honestly needs to step in, or the Supreme Court needs to step in, because it's not right what they're doing to this presidency.
And he's not wrong. That is exactly what these judges are doing to Donald J. Trump. It pisses me off. I mean, Donald Trump is literally handcuffed from doing his job because this judicial coup that is happening against the president of the United States of America. I've got a lot to share with you in today's report, but wanted to open up with that. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, what the hell is really going on here? Because there is a lot of facts that the mainstream media are not sharing with you. And yes, this is a constitutional crisis. And I'm not using that term lightly like the Democrats, where they throw it around over every little thing. This is a crisis, and I'm going to prove it to you. Let's go here. Let's start first with justsecurity.org. This website has been really following Donald Trump, tracking all the legal challenges against him. In fact, as of the making of this video, I believe there are about 209 cases against Donald Trump and his administration. This is unheard of and far bigger than any president in the history of the United States of America. And he's only been in office, a couple of months or whatever. This is insanity. Insanity. And by the way, only 4 cases have been closed. That should tell you that the entire plot was exactly as they said in the report that you saw. It's to stop Donald Trump from doing his job. Not only that, but there's also this, I've showed this once before on Restricted Republic, but it's tracking the lawsuits against Donald Trump. And what I found is if you look at these colors here, which judge, because it's supposed to be, they're randomly picked. They're not being randomly picked. These judges are being selected by Democrats, and Democrats are shopping for the judge to their liking. If you go and count all the Democrats on here, it is about, and I'm guesstimating my prior, but it's about 75% of them are Biden-Obama judges. And I believe the percentage is even higher than that. I want to say Trump had like 10 or 15, so it's more like 80-ish. But I'm guesstimating. So that's how many judges. So you go ahead and make the false claim that this is selection. There is no way in hell that that is the case. In fact, in comparison, right, to give you one comparison, Biden, during all of his 4 years in office, had 133 multi-state lawsuits, and that's on Ballotpedia. 133. Something is going on. But before I dive in, a quick break from my sponsor. Well, have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I saw a video of him the other day and I was completely shocked. I mean, the man is literally in his 80s. He is working out, kicking butt, and more active than ever. In fact, what stood out to me is that he seemed stronger than he's ever been. He works out longer and he had lots and lots of energy. And I thought to myself, I want to be like him when I'm his age. So what the heck is he doing that is changing his lifestyle, right? So he claims that he did this by making one change in his life. And I want to encourage you guys to check out that change. And in order to check it out, all you have to do is go to chuckdefense.com/haven to find out what that change is. And I have to tell you, I found out what that change was, and it made a huge difference in my life. And I honestly believe that it will make a huge difference in your life. This is why I've sponsored with them. But you can check it out at chuckdefense.com/haven. And if you want more information information, you can click the link in the description box below to watch the video, or if you're on the cell phone, click that more button. But trust me, you're going to want to check this out. Go to chuckdefense.com/Haven. All right, back to the broadcast. So obviously, there is something bigger going on. Somebody has to ask the question, is this not a constitutional crisis? Is this not a judicial coup or insurrection or whatever word you want to get it against the sitting president of the United States? Everything he promised the American people to do has been challenged by these rogue freaking judges. And you know what? I'm really pissed off because Congress isn't doing jack crap, like nothing. They go on vacation half the freaking year, and it's really pissing me off. And I'm exaggerating, but they're on freaking vacation a lot. We have control of the House and the Senate, and they aren't doing jack. They haven't impeached one single judge, and there are ones worthy of impeachment, quite a few of them, and they haven't done anything to stop what is going on in these courts. It is obvious that this is an attack from the Democrat Party to stop him from doing his job that he was elected to do. And why the hell hasn't this been done in reverse from, the Republicans? Is this the new game that we're playing now? He's really handcuffed and stopped dead in his tracks. He literally is. And if this isn't situated by Congress or the Supreme Court doesn't take an action, we're a sitting duck. We are literally a sitting duck. And excuse me, I'm a little upset because it's not getting fixed. No one's doing anything. They're just sitting back and allowing all of this to happen. And by the way, Donald Trump's had more filed against him than any president in the United States history ever, to the tune of triple to quadruple to even higher than that. If this continues the way it is, you can guarantee that those numbers are going to very easily double, triple, quadruple if something isn't done to stop it. For example, let's just go through the latest ones on these judicial coups. The president put out this presidential action on White House preserving and protecting the integrity of American elections, right? In short, this is Donald Trump enforcing the federal government to stop foreign nationals from voting in federal elections. Hey, gee, Wally, that's common sense. Supposed to be that way anyway. And so basically, he's looking for documented proof of United States citizenship to vote. ID for vote. ID to vote. That's what this is all about. So now we've got this justice coming along, and this is on Zero Hedge, Judicial Cool. Judge blocks key component of Trump's election integrity order. U.S. District Judge Colleen Collar-Cotelli has dealt a partial blow to President Donald Trump's push to secure American elections, blocking his initiative to require proof of citizenship for voter registration. The rules mark yet another roadblock from the judiciary thwarting the administration's America First agenda, which could raise further concerns among conservatives about the integrity of the election. And this is what their excuse was, right? Our Constitution entrusts Congress and the states, not the president, with the authority to regulate federal elections. Okay, I'm going to get into that. The judge wrote in her 20-page opinion obtained by ABC News, no statutory delegation of authority to the executive branch permits the president to short-circuit Congress's deliberative process by executive order. Who is in charge of the federal elections? I would say the federal government. Now, the states are in charge of the state government. The states are in charge of the state elections. You cannot tell a state, hey, you have to have voter ID, to vote in your own state election. The states have to make that call. But we aren't talking about the states. We're talking about federal elections, right? Thereby, is it not the job of the federal government to decide that, aka the president of the United States? It's already a law. But she is going to go and stop this in its tracks? What the hell for? That's not the only one. Here's another one for you. ABC News, Trump appointed judge orders return of second migrant deported to El Salvador. And, on this ABC News report, they list the reason why this particular second one. And I'm not talking about Abrego Garcia, the MS-13 gang member. Nope, I'm talking about a brand new one here. But in the sworn declaration, an official U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement said that Christian was arrested in January for possession of cocaine. cocaine. And Christian is the one that they are talking about got deported and needs to come back, right? So on January 6, 2025, Christian was convicted in the 482nd District Court at Harris County, Texas, for the offense of possessing cocaine, a Texas state jail felony, said Robert Cerna, the acting field director for enforcement and removal operations. Cerna said that following the invocation of the AEA, ICE determined that Christian was subject to removal. On March 15, 2025, Christian was removed under the Alien Enemy Act 50 U.S.C. Chapter 3, pursuant of President Proclamation 10,903, as a Venezuelan citizen 14 years of age or older who is a member of TDA. Cerna said, referring to the Venezuela criminal gang Tren de Aragua. Allegations that class members like Christians are subject to the AEA do not exclude those individuals from the class under the plain terms of settlement agreement, attorneys for the plaintiff argued. So there you have it, a cocaine addict. So they're arguing for a coke addict to come back to the United States, an MS-13 gang member with potential links to he had links to human trafficking. He beats his wife and is a gang member. These are who they're protecting. One has to question, is there ties between these gang members and the Democrats? And I'm starting to think there is, in my opinion. Then we have this, right? Second federal judge blocks Trump DEI ban in K through 12 schools in same day. Not one judge now, two judges are going after him saying, oh, you cannot sign an executive order getting rid of DEI in schools. Here's the funny part. Joe Biden signed this executive order June 25th, 2021, an executive order on DEI and accessibility in the federal workplace, where he mandated that you put that into the workforce. No judge questioned that when it was implemented. So Joe Biden was allowed to implement it via an executive order, but a judge says now you can't get rid of it via an executive order. Bull. I am sick and tired of this. I am sick and tired. And I'm sick and tired of our GOP sitting around not doing a damn thing about it. Let's go on. Here's Donald Trump's latest one. Now, this one, as of yet, does not have anything filed against it, but I can guarantee you that there is probably a 99% chance that they will come after this as well. Great executive order, right? But I'm getting tired of all these executive orders being signed and getting halted. Literally. He's a sitting duck. He is a sitting duck president at some levels. Here is WhiteHouse.gov. President Donald Trump investigates unlawful straw donors and foreign contributions in our elections. Donald Trump signed a presidential memorandum to crack down on illegal straw donors and foreign contributions in American elections following reports and congressional investigations regarding potential unlawful against the law activities through Act Blue and other online fundraising programs or platforms, The memorandum directs the AG to investigate and take appropriate action concerning allegations regarding the use of online fundraising platforms to make straw or dummy contributions and to make foreign contributions to U.S. political candidates and committees, all of which break the law. Specifically, the memorandum notes that a congressional investigation revealed significant fraud schemes using Act Blue, and over a 30-day period during the 2024 election cycle, hundreds of Act Blue donations from foreign IP addresses using prepaid cards, despite it being illegal for foreign nationals to contribute to our elections. And here's the actual memorandum that he put out, and he actually lists the law that makes it illegal. It is federal law 52 USC 3121 and 31222. So there are the laws that make it illegal. How can a judge, and a judge hasn't gone against that, but that doesn't even matter anymore now, does it? It doesn't. The whole point is exactly what he said in the beginning, to make him drawn out in courts for years. And that is what they're going to do, and make him a sitting duck president on multiple aspects of his presidency. Now, with that, he is getting some stuff done. I want to give him credit. In some areas, he's done great work. But the truth of the matter is, he can't do it alone. Congress isn't doing anything. And we could very well lose the election when it comes to the midterms. And then we're really screwed. And God forbid his hands get tied. And when another Democrat gets in, I can guarantee you that the reverse won't happen, because I have no faith in our congressional leaders to do as much. I'm a little livid. Yeah, I'm tired of this judicial coup and nothing happening. And I think many of you are as well. I mean, seriously, right? I just need a breath for a minute. This is just crazy. But to have an entire 200, going back to that tracker, 209, more than any other sitting president. Again, 133-ish under Biden in his entire presidency. At least that's on Ballotopia. Anyway, there is really no other term that you can dub this. But why is Congress doing nothing? Why? I've seen at least one action in Congress where they were going to impeach a judge, but they wrote it up and then it's sitting in there. Then they wrote something up against all this judicial action, judicial coup taking place, and it's just sitting there. And they're on vacation quite often. I think we have real opportunity to go after the bad guys. And I'm not talking anybody other than the bad guys who are committing crime on either side of the fence. Look, Act Blue, with his executive order that he has just put through, I got to give him props. I'm really excited about this executive order. I love it. But I have no faith right now because I just think the courts are going to stop it. But here's the deal. Act Blue was busted by James O'Keefe, OMG Media. He actually had video out there, and I don't know if he did it under his old one or his new one, but where he went to people who supposedly donated to Act Blue. And these people are like, yeah, I maybe gave a couple bucks, but nowhere near $30,000 and $2,000 and $5,000. And Act Blue has contributions where they had people donating 2 times a day. And according to the memorandum, from foreign IP addresses. This is illegal, folks. If the Republicans and if some Republican agency was doing it, then go after them as well. And I think that's the intent. No side should be breaking the law. I wonder what kind of, I don't know, judge is going to go after this one. I'm on pins and needles, because they don't want to take away their baby contributions. They've got agendas for all of this. And I hate to say it, the radical left still has control of massive amounts of our agencies. Let's take, any 3-letter agency you want, right? I'm just going to say the FBI or whatever. And Donald Trump puts a declaration through, hey, we're going to fire a bunch of people. And then a judge comes back and says, oh, you can't fire all those people. You have to keep them in place. So in other words, stopping Donald Trump from cleaning house and draining the swamp, he's now not allowed to fire anybody. So how does that person get fired even if they're not doing their job? This is the kind of stuff he's running into from the courts. Literally. And this has been on multiple levels. He's deporting people and they're saying you can't deport people. He's deporting gang members. You can't deport gang members. He's trying to fire people, A, because of fraud and corruption, B, because of they're not doing their job, C, because we don't have the money in the bank account to pay these people. But that's not good enough for these judges. They're saying, nah, you have to keep them on the payroll. Donald Trump is literally unable to do his job if Congress doesn't start acting and doing something. Anyhow, I love you guys. I know I had a lot to share today, but I want to hear your thoughts and comments and concerns on the whole thing. I'd love to hear them. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.